Hey, I'm glad to see you're wearing your pride hat. Is it a special occasion?
This?
Yeah.
This is a fucking ping golf hat, dude. And first of all, it's a beachy theme because I'm wearing my Dewey Beach shirt. All right?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't catch the theme immediately. Tell me it doesn't... Alan. Tell me it doesn't look like a pride hat.
So I giggled because I knew what you meant, but I also knew what hat it was because I almost bought that hat, and then he bought that hat, and then I was like, I'm not going to buy that hat.
Hey, look, man. Okay, listen. This is what I want to say to the LGBTQ plus Niner community out there. It's like you don't have the rights to the rainbow. Okay, the rainbow is a symbol of God's promise. By the way, just to let everybody know if they weren't aware. I'm just saying.
Shut up.
No. So I'm just saying it's okay. I'm not saying you're flaunting anything. I'm just saying it's all right to wear rainbow colors. I would like to start to reclaim some of the things and maybe claim some of the things, even in a masculine way, that we weren't allowed to claim. Wes, what are you drinking right now?
Ooh, this is a Merlot from Argentina.
Okay. 20 years ago, we would have called you names that will get you canceled in this era. You couldn't have drank wine as a man 20 years ago and admitted it on a podcast. Now, perfectly fine. Is it delicious? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Drink away, Wes.
That shit's yummy. That shit's yummy.
I think that's just let me interject. As a Latino man, no, we would not have balked at drinking wine because we're not fucking animals. And do you see how fucking uncouth white men are? Just they're like, look at that guy drinking fucking alcoholic grape juice, fucking pussy.
You're right.
What? No, why? It's delicious.
I'm not disagreeing with you at all, but there was a time in an era where it was not allowed. You could not pull off something of that nature. You couldn't have worn a rainbow. You couldn't have worn anything that represented homosexuality. I called somebody, okay, I'm going to be honest. I called somebody a cocksucker the other day, and they said, yeah, what's wrong with that? And I had to take a step back like, ooh,
exactly.
If you do like penis, I guess there is nothing wrong with that. Oh, I'm going to have to really do some evaluation.
Shatters the worldviews, doesn't it? You're like, what do you mean?
D. Reynolds explained this really well in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode, by the way. But yeah, no, I mean, this is a very pastel-y hat, and this is something I probably wouldn't have indulged in about 10 to 15 years ago. But whether or not the LGBTQ community has said like, hey, the rainbow's for everyone, fire away. I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. I'll put this puppy on a Saturday and go out and hack the shit out of the fucking course and look good while I'm doing it. And
I just wonder how free we would be if we gave up on the old stereotypes. If gay is okay, which it's fine. I don't care. You're not affecting me. We're not canoodling after hours in my bedroom or anything. So it's fine. Do whatever you want. It's your life. You're an American. You're free. What about this? I tried this a few weeks ago. Somebody said I was like pretending to skip around. They're like, don't skip. Like, why? It's a very efficient form of travel. Watch. I can skip like a son of a bitch. Yeah. And I think it's actually more efficient than jogging. And I feel like I would like to get into some competitive skipping because I think at 43, I'd still be good at it.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain, like most like athletic trainers, and Wes, I mean, you played high level athletics. A lot of like warm up circuits, or a lot of skips, a lot of high knees, and things of that nature. It's good for your leg muscles.
Doesn't burn you.
All the ligaments and tendons in there.
Doesn't burn you out. Doesn't blow through a lot of I was saying that blow through red blood cells, but it doesn't burn a lot of oxygen. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can cover
awesome muscles.
You can cover a lot of ground between foot touching the ground. It's a very efficient form of travel. And think about the unbridled joy you felt as a child skipping literally down the road and just doop-de-doo, not a care in the world. You didn't know what gay was. No one had punched you in the face for doing it. Mm-hmm. So you just did it, and it was glorious.
This is a couple months ago that me and Kelly were walking the dog, and I was like, I'm going to just start skipping all over the place. I think it's good form of exercise. And I noticed that one cannot skip without smiling. So there's that. And two, she was like, this shit is ridiculous. But I mean, you're right. It is efficient.
Yeah.
You move, you can move at a good rate of speed. You know, get your heart rate up.
And there does seem
It's
to
efficient.
be there seems to be something inherently natural in your body's physiology with it. Because again, it doesn't burn you out. You could do that for miles, fucking miles. Do you think the guy who invented the marathon, who ran some message from one town to the other and then died as he was delivering that message, he was like, "Damn, why didn't you just skip? He just skipped here. It'd have been fine."
There was actually a lesser known guy.
He could have had some wine when he was done.
There was a lesser known guy named Iron Man, and he fucking skipped like twice as far into like Siberia delivering messages. Nobody really knows about him though.
I wonder if some like race officials would have an issue like, what the fuck's he doing? He's skipping, sir. Well, this is a run. This is a jog. I wonder if you would get penalized for skipping in the Boston Marathon.
Well, no, because I think, okay, so freestyle swimming, you're familiar with it, like the stroke of freestyle swimming. You can do anything you want to do, but the way that you can swim any way you want in the freestyle. It's just been deemed that covers the most ground in the fastest amount of time. Shortest amount of time, rather. I don't foresee anyone coming along and being like, you know what, I can beat these Kenyans and Ethiopians via skipping. I'm not sure that's going to really get it done.
That's fine.
In the Boston Marathon, but maybe you might do okay.
Maybe in like maybe the mile would be a more appropriate skip. I'm just saying I don't think it's been attempted because of aggressive heterosexuality. Aggressive heterosexuality, I think, has put a dampener on a lot of things that we do. I will freely admit now, I am a bath man. I like taking a bath. I have not admitted that in the past because baths were gay. So I just said, you know what? I'll just pretend I take showers, but in the privacy of my own home, I will run me a tub full of water. That's why I have a tub. That's why I don't just have a drain and a floor. I have a basin. I will bathe in it. It's comfortable and relaxing.
Hey, man.
Free country, man. Free country.
Life's too short to not enjoy things that you enjoy.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to sit in a fucking large container of your own filth, you fucking do that. You do that, buddy. Like,
Touch away.
It's not. Hey, look, it's not for me. But I do it. You know what I mean? Do your thing. Yeah. I actually saw a show recently where somebody posited that they do shower, bath, shower. So they get in, rinse like general grime off, get into bath, relax, moisturize, whatever it is you do, catch up on the day's events, and then gets out, re-showers, getting off the bath grime, and then they're on with their day.
Okay, I do a similar thing, but I'm more efficient about it because I'm all about efficiency. So I get in and I do similar thing. I don't shower first. That just seems redundant. Why would you do that? I run the bath. I do catch up on the event of the day on my phone as I relax. And then I put the phone down. Then I wash the parts of my body that are out of the water. So my upper torso, my face and all that stuff. And then I turn the shower on. I actually pull the curtain with the bathtub full of water, turn the shower on, hit the drain. And then as the drain the water starts to go down, I then stand up and then I get my ass and my nether regions and my legs and shit. And then by the time I'm done doing that, the water has drained. I turn the shower off and I'm done.
It sounds like a hoot. It sounds like a great time. And I'm glad you explained your entire bathing sequence. You're in the middle class souls. And that's great. Hey, man, be free. You're right. And I think this also boils down to, and I've noticed this in the last handful of years. About 5 years ago, I turned a corner on it. It subsequently, Murr, this goes back to your, you gain a couple seconds of rational thought with every year you're born after 18. You gain a couple seconds of, not even more than a couple seconds, more than a couple minutes of, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't care what these people think. I don't care I don't know these people. No one's going to remember. No one's going to stop me and be like, hey, man, what's that? And then call me something derogatory. Fuck you. Don't care. Eat my butt. That's what I say.
You know what? And I bet getting your butt eaten feels great.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah. There was actually, I don't know if it was recent, but Lesnar was on a podcast, and I don't remember the name of it. But someone was asking Brock Lesnar, when did you realize that you just had superhuman ability? When did you realize that you were a goddamn Viking that just got transported into this millennium? And he was saying, well, I mean, I think we were probably late elementary, early middle school when we were playing a game. And then he pauses because then he realizes, I don't want to get slammed by counterculture. And he was like, I don't even know if I could say the name of the game. It's called Smear the, and stops. And everyone in the whole studio laughs. And he's like, yeah, now it's called, I think, tackle the I don't even know what it's transcended to. It's
I think it's called assault and battery, Wesley, and that will not be tolerated in this classroom.
It's called a hate crime now, I think.
Yes.
I don't know what it's called now. That's a good question.
It's something. It's something tackle the football carrier, but that's not what it is. That it's dumbed down a little bit. But I just found it interesting that someone like Brock Lesnar even paused before, you got to think about what you say. You can't say these things. He's like, I don't even know if I can say that today. This is what we called it in my childhood. And what's Brock Lesnar? 45, 46-ish?
Yeah, he's around my age-ish, yeah. So, I mean, I get it. I do get some things I do get now. I think we have gone maybe a little overboard with some things. There's a little bit of oversensitivity. But I also think that on the other side of the oversensitivity, we could be a little less sensitive to some of these things. And we could, Theo Vaughn, stand-up comedian, he has a whole routine where he's like, we're all a little gay, right? We're all a little gay. I mean, I like a finger in my butt every now and again. And it's like everybody's a little gay. So you know what? It's okay. That gay part, gay, the original word is what? Is joy. So let everybody have a little gay in your heart.
That's right.
Just find that little bit of gay that you've suppressed, and we'd all be a little happier.
Yeah.
A little more joyous.
Enjoy your feelings. Tell someone how you feel. Don't suppress that. You've been telling men for millenniums. Would you say, Murr? It's probably like 4 or 5 podcasts ago. You're like, this is why men die early.
Yeah.
Just keep it all.
You just shove it down. just shove those feelings down.
You're just
feelings of
okay with being miserable for decades.
Just never enjoy anything. Ever.
Okay, I know it's a funny bit that I enjoy the White Claw, okay? But about 10 years ago, you would not have caught me dead in a liquor store with this in my hand, walking up to the counter. The only way you would have found me dead with it is that I had a heart attack from anxiety because I was too afraid to put my credit card in the machine and admit it's mine. I still have a hard time admitting it's mine because I still buy a 6-pack of Heineken every time I buy my White Claws.
Again,
you gotta mix it up.
You got to get a few more seconds of that. I don't give a fuck. Go in there and buy 2 cases of that shit.
Yeah.
We're having a party. My house. We're taking baths. It's going to be some wine drinking going on.
And if we run out, we're skipping to the liquor store.
It's so efficient.
We're going to burn all the calories that we drank. Middle Classholes, everyone. Foxman, Alan, and Murr. Man, hey, football season's over. It was a good Super Bowl. And Murr won the Gatorade. We all lost on the non-quarterback throwing a pass because we got a fucking touchdown pass on a halfback sneak or whatever. It was Mixon, great pass too. Shit, it's a good time. Great halftime show.
If somebody's wide open like that, like it's not really hard to throw a good pass.
That's right. You figure all of these guys have. Probably all of them dabbled in some quarterback. It's kind of like baseball. Everyone that's on the field pitched in high school just because they were good athletes. They could fucking fire the ball, 90 miles an hour.
Any professional athlete, whether they play the quarterback position or not, could go to college and instantly be their starting quarterback.
That's a good point. You're right. And Joe Mixon, yeah, he could go to any fucking Division I school and be maybe not a Heisman candidate, but an all conference guy. But yeah, great game. I'm glad both quarterbacks didn't get hurt. But yeah, man, and it worked out. Alan, do we have a winner? Right? We have We have a winner of the official
we
Oliver
did.
Brewing Middle Class Holes. Although the
So there was only a handful of people that actually stuck with us through all the rounds.
Because everybody else was eliminated through points.
Yes, exactly. Wink, wink. So yeah, there was a winner. There was a tie by half a point because at one point we gave away half points for something that I can't remember.
the second round, 1.5.
Yeah, second round, 1.5.
Division.
So by a half a point, I know that the entry is her name is Teresa. But 11.5 points throughout the playoffs. 11.5 points. She picked. Let's go through the picks real quick just to get it going. She got KC Bills, Bengals, Bucks, Rams early rounds. Let's see. Yeah, she picked the Rams all the way through. Yeah, Rams all the way down to the Super Bowl. She rode them hard. But yeah, Teresa, we will email you. And we will get you your $50, your 50 smacks, and then of course your Oliver Brewing. Our good friends at Oliver Brewing are going to hook you up with a 6-pack and a piece of swag of your choice. We'll get you some details on that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
congratulations.
Good fun. Yeah,
congratulations. Someone we don't even know. I don't even know who the hell that is, and I'm happy to say, hey. Fucking A. You were one of three that wrote it out, and sometimes just by default. Sometimes you win just by being fucking stubborn. And we
look, hey
it.
man. I mean, there was the top 5 that I'd say rode with us. Most of them. I think only one person missed one round, which probably cost them. Yeah, we got my brother was in there. Good friend of the show. Derek is on there in the top 5, I believe. Yeah. So I mean, we got some friends. For some fraternity brothers, good people in there. You lost though.
Yeah, busters,
suckers,
fake ass.
Wait, can I after that whole thing about how we should all find a little bit of gay or whatever it was that Merger said? Is it weird? Would it be rude of me to say that all of you lost to a girl? Because y'all.
That's a whole different subject. No, I think that's still on the table.
Okay, good job though.
Yeah.
Good job, though, lady. You've been watching your football. You know your stuff.
Yeah, and we encourage go through that. When we get in touch with you, we'll give you the link to Oliver Brewing. There's a whole swag selection. Pick yourself out a nice shirt, hat, whatever you'd like. And we'll mail it to you free of charge. And $50, Venmo, PayPal, or whatever. Out of state cashiers, travelers
Cash App.
Yeah, we'll get
we need your routing number and account number. We'll wire it to you.
Pay her in Dogecoin. Can we do that?
Yeah, shoot us that one. We'll sell it to you in Amazon gift cards.
Crypto.
We'll give it to you in Amazon gift card. $10 allotments though. So
that's right.
You figure that out.
The news bit tonight comes via Florida, of course. All the good stuff happens in Florida. Self penis cutoffs and things of that nature. So drunk guest takes off clothes and brawls in Disney Springs. I don't even know what Disney Springs is. I hear Disneyland, Disney Springs. I know downtown Disney, but it's also an entire it's not even a town. It's an entire city down there. So these two broads, sisters from New Jersey, of course, go out, get a few drinks in them, 29 and 31. And as they get an Uber kicks them out, says they're way too drunk. They're waiting on a cab. And as they're waiting on a cab, a verbal confrontation starts. Okay. Then the verbal confrontation escalates and then it gets into a fight. And then one of them decides, hey, I'm going to lose my clothes because I fight better when I'm naked and I don't have this. I'm not confined by this dress. And then one of them, slips on the vomit that one of them had vomited earlier, falls over. It turns into an entire Jersey Shore situation. Deputies are called. They are arrested. They aren't charged with anything. But your thoughts on, I got a quote that I'm going to bring up later. But Alan, I'm going to start with you. Give us your take on UFC a la Disney Springs.
Yeah, Florida sounds fucking awful. Like it sounds like a I don't know. It also sounds delightful at any given moment. So it's so hard to gauge. It's Florida. I don't understand you. I don't. What was the vomit part again? Can you run that back for me? Because
one had barfed earlier around that area, and then they got into a physical fist fight, and one slipped into it. Kind of a banana peel via Mario Kart situation.
And this is also why once you've reached vomit point, well, I guess this is a lie because if it was a voluntary vomit, they had somewhat of a right to be still at the bar, even though
a thing of voluntary vomit.
Yes, it is, sir.
Right. We've talked about this.
You ever gotten so full of natural light that you just need to make more room for natural light?
Yes. But I've never. But if it's voluntary, I don't do it in a spot where someone's going to slip on it at a later date.
Well, if it's a packed nightclub, you got to make it soon. Okay, so if it's a packed discotheque, you sometimes gotta pull the trigger right where you're at.
Yeah. And depending upon what country you're in, they could be packing.
Look, I don't know many many female expert drinkers that pull the trigger in nightclubs voluntarily. I think a lot of times when that's going down, that's involuntary vomit. These people should not be in the club to later start trouble and then slip in the vomit. But I guess it's some sort of righteous outcome for the person who vomited to slip in the vomit during the fight. So
they didn't confirm or deny that the person who slipped in the vomit was their own vomit. It's a 50-50 chance. It could have been her sister, which at that point, does it matter if I were to get into a fist fight with my brother? Would I be any less or more angry that I slipped in his vomit? I don't know.
Yes.
No, I'd be pissed. Like if me and you were at a bar and we got into fisticuffs with people, and then like you had vomited earlier because you needed more natural light room, and then I slipped in it in mid fight, I'd be furious at you.
Okay, fair enough.
But then again, if I slipped in my own vomit, I'd be pissed that I didn't remember where I vomited, and then I handcuffed myself in the fight in some capacity.
Right.
And I'd be more angry with myself, and so angry like I'd take the rage out on you, which would enhance the rage like, I don't know, a factor of 3.
Yeah, it's almost like a bad foreshadowing part in a movie. You go outside like, oh, I'm so stuffed, blah, and then a couple minutes later you get into it with the co-star of the movie, and then it's like, oh, can't move.
Yeah, it's obviously a John Candy, Dan Aykroyd movie that never got made.
It's like a great outdoors type of thing. After he eats the steak.
The steak.
So
it sounds awful.
Here's the quote I wanted to bring up. Quote: "They were very intoxicated," the sheriffs reported. Quote: "They endangered the safety of other guests and cast members at Disney Springs by physically fighting in a public area." Now, listen, I understand there are some very cowardly cast members. You got Goofy, you got Donald, you got some people who shy away from altercation. But these the cast members, I've seen those suits. They're like 9 feet tall. What are they running from?
I agree. They should have training, and they should have like martial arts training. They should be able to take somebody down. By the way, Donald needs to be reined in a little bit. I don't know how much Disney you've watched, but having a 7-year-old, I've consumed a lot of Disney over the last 7 years. Donald's an asshole. Donald Duck is an asshole. Even watching him as an adult, I'm like, more so. I'm like, that motherfucker needs to be fucking choked the fuck out every now and again.
I think he's always been an asshole, and we just never really realized it.
Yeah, I'm realizing it, and Mickey needs to learn a few fucking triangle chokes and fucking put him down every now and again. Mickey's the big pussy. Mickey's probably the biggest pussy of all. Goofy's just incapable. There's a difference.
I think if you're like a character or whatever the fuck they call him at Disney, you have to be. I think you would have to react appropriately as your character would react. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like Goofy could look the other way and then flail both his arms out and accidentally backhand the shit out of somebody. That would be a good one.
Or Goofy could fucking fall in the vomit as well.
Yeah, yeah, Goofy could smell. Yeah. Like Donald would just be a dick. He wouldn't actually get into a fight. He would just fucking like talk shit the whole time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Things of that nature. Then as you scale up, you know, you get like Hercules. Hercules has to do something. He has to step in.
Here's what I take away from it. There's not enough vigilante justice left in the world. Because if there was like a vigilante justice law in place, and I know we're talking to our legal counsel later, but we don't have to like bring it up to him. But if there was a vigilante justice rule in place where like if you're acting like an asshole, like a crowd member could just take you the fuck out and just end the situation instantaneously, I think the world would be a better place. There was a time where vigilante justice was an acceptable way of taking care of shit. The police weren't always around. Who took them out? Was it was the Disney security that ended up taking them?
Well, no,
calling them an Uber.
Disney, no. Disney security separated them. Then the cops came and arrested them.
Okay, but if the Disney security didn't even have to get involved because the guests knocked the shit out of them, and then Disney security was like, "Well, folks, I guess we'll have to call an ambulance." Everything would be fine, and people's vacations weren't ruined. Look, you're.
Okay,
what?
so hold on. Let me see if I'm painting the correct picture here. Is your form of vigilante justice two naked sisters from New Jersey fighting each other? You're going to go in tongue first, correct? I'll alleviate this. Go.
I'm just saying, you're ruining everyone's vacation around you. And it's fine. I would take video. Okay, they got naked. That's one thing. I mean, what did they look like? I think that factors in. If they look good, you let it escalate. If they don't, then you fucking run, farm, shiver the shit out of them, and then call it a day. And you get on over to It's a Small World After All. You enjoy the rest of your party while Disney fucking police fucking yanks them out of the park by their ankles. I just think that all the videos we've seen of people on planes acting a fool, if you had carte blanche to take them out, this wouldn't happen anymore. People would think twice before having to pull the trigger on a neutral light release, if you will.
I think you're okay. I get what you're saying, but I think you're very loose-lipped with take them out. It seems very like
I'm not Donald Trump. I'm just saying, you know what I mean.
Sure,
if you could wrap them up and just like hold them down without the threat of assault. And what happened to a citizen's arrest in America? You know, what happened to all those little things where like I'm a sovereign citizen, you know, like where you could do shit and you could handle the situation without police involvement. And we just need to get back to that. And I think people will stop acting like assholes. If I knew Brock Lesnar was going to come tackle me because I was ruining his Disney vacation that he paid $5,000 to $10,000 for, then I wouldn't be an asshole.
So you're saying we need more angry dads who compartmentalize their feelings.
Yes, and we need them to unlock that box and unleash the rage when appropriate.
Could be. Yeah, pissed away a lot of money, stood in lines all day. Now we got Nicole and whoever else busting each other's chops nude at fucking
Could be onto something.
Yeah, that's our security team, or that's who we not only cast but employ as Daffy, Donald, and Goofy under these masks, right?
Yes, you put like, okay, let's say Joe Rogan's career didn't take off to the the echelon that it is now, and he ends up playing I don't know, Chip and or Dale at a local amusement park, and somebody starts mouthing off. Well, man, I'll tell you what, I'd love to see Chip and or Dale put a fucking guillotine on somebody. I think that would make my adventure.
Sorry, I kind of went off in a different direction when you said Chip and Dale.
That's why I said and or.
Fire away at me. All right, well, we had this beautiful extravaganza take place. I think because I've been down at Epcot Center, and Epcot just lends itself to drinking. And I've been drunk at Epcot Center a couple of times. I highly doubt this is the first time. Well, okay. I highly doubt this is the first time a fight has happened like this at Disney Springs. Maybe this is the first time where two women derobed and there was some sort of, tripwire vomit spill maybe the circumstance is very unique, but I highly doubt that there's been hasn't been fisticuffs found.
Okay, I guess where my mind's going is like, aren't there sacred places? And you can laugh at me for saying Disney's a sacred place, but
you're right.
Okay, this is the kind of incident that happens at a Busch Gardens,
You're right,
or a Six Flags America. Disney, the happiest place on earth. It's not happy because adults go there. It's happy because children are there. So you should be able to protect children. And even if it's just a facade, like a mental facade of like the happiest place on earth, chicks don't derobe, slip and vomit, and beat the shit out of each other on a fucking public street. Like, that's not something that should happen there. And I think you should have carte blanche to stop that from happening in certain sacred places. I don't know, like a baseball game, certain things should happen. You shouldn't throw batteries at a baseball game. In a Philadelphia Eagles game, batteries might be appropriate.
Right. Batteries are included. No, I agree. I do believe that. Yes. And it's funny you mentioned that, because when I was reading that, I thought, God, Disney, really? Y'all couldn't sheathe your swords at fucking, even if it's Disney Springs. I don't know what that is. That could be some sort of adult Disney World. I don't know, but I doubt it. But
which is an oxymoron, because that shouldn't be a thing.
It's a good point.
It shouldn't be a thing.
It's a good point.
I'm not saying that Disney shies away from it because they make money off of it, but that's technically not a thing.
Yeah. Alan, your thoughts? Disney sacred? Or just doesn't matter? It's just a rule of fucking proximity, booze, and probability.
I mean, look, you always run the risk when you put booze in people in the state of Florida that something weird's going to happen. All right. So like, if you're, it's not like you chose a location known for its upstanding humans. It's quite the opposite. So it's going to happen. It is what it is. Disney is, I guess, kind of sacred, but like, I mean, Epcot's not. Like, imagine if I see two bitches drunk getting down in Magic Kingdom, then yeah, come on, that's fucked up.
Yeah,
y'all gotta get your lives together.
Two bitches getting down in Magic Kingdom. I'm watching. Yeah. Oh wait,
no, not like that. That's rude. That's a different Magic Kingdom. I think that's a Magic City.
That's in California. All right,
that's a Magic City, and it's in Atlanta. It's very. But yeah, man, it is a little bit sacred, I guess, but not at Epcot. And not wherever they were. Where were they?
Disney.
Were they at Epcot? Did it say
Disney Springs?
Is like it's a resort part.
That shit can happen. It's fine. Yeah. Just can't, like, the only hallowed grounds, like I said, are like actual parks. If you're in,
Magic Kingdom,
if you like break a Rafiki in fucking Animal Kingdom, like, you're fucking up. You know what I mean? You're at like a satellite Disney resort. Well, it's fine.
Here's the main reason I disagree with you, though, is because I like drinking just as much as you guys like drinking. And when people like this, the only thing they're going to do is, if there's no vigilante justice and park customers can't police their own, then the next step is to take away the alcohol. It's a method that managers and giant corporations have utilized. They punish everybody for the sins of a few. So if everybody could self-regulate, everything would be fine.
Well, that means the supply and demand. Well, the opposite end of that is that you're cutting out a major lifeline. These parents and these people, they're going to need to booze in order to be able to mentally just fortify themselves while they're doing this.
If you can't booze and be responsible, then they're going to take away the thing that makes you irresponsible.
You're right, but I hardly think that a sister fight that resulted in some nudity in a slippage is gonna do that. Now, if someone takes their clothes off and then jumps off at the top of the crest of some sort of fucking ride, yeah, maybe, but to be determined.
This really doesn't feel like. It doesn't feel like, like a standard family parent, kind of situation, like
right.
Parent and kid situation. Like at best, they're the two fucking like 22-year-old twin daughters, and they came along on the family vacation, and the fucking mom was like, God, you fucking drunk pieces of shit. This is why we don't bring you anywhere, because we have these younger kids that want to enjoy a nice, wholesome experience, and you get fucking drunk on daiquiris and fight each other and vomit.
And then slip in it.
Yeah, it's the last time we take you anywhere.
Yeah, actually, one of the times I was at Epcot with the family. It turned out where I thought there was gonna be like a 2-hour stretch where I was gonna be by myself. I was like, perfect. I'm just gonna go country to country and fucking plow through some lagers and cervezas and whatever, and that's like on the big circle around there. Well, then they the family left and they stuck me with my 13-year-old cousin, and he's a great kid. Now he's an adult, but I remember I was like, "Hey, you realize you knew what I was going to do, right?" Like, "Oh yeah, you're fine. How drunk you plan on getting?" I was like, "I planned on getting bombed." I didn't plan on watching a kid. I'm going to tell you that right now. And they still left. And I was like, all right, fuck it. Here we go.
All right. Well, make sure I don't die, kid.
You're my caretaker. All right. Here we go.
I think I've told you before that me and my dad got asked to stop drinking beers at fucking SeaWorld.
Really? Were you guys like punching Shamu and shit?
No, not at all. But SeaWorld's SeaWorld was is it still SeaWorld still open? Did they fucking close that bitch down?
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, SeaWorld in Florida, like the nice SeaWorld, fucking it's an Anheuser-Busch park. I don't know if you knew that or not. So like you could see the Clydesdales there, and there's like a big old Anheuser-Busch thing in the back of the park. They tuck it in the back with the riffraff. They're like, don't just go back there and don't bother the families. So like, I don't know. My mom was watching some fucking dolphin show or some shit. And me and my dad went to the Anheuser-Busch area. We were like, yeah, we're going to get some beers. We're going to fucking look at these giant horses. And you're only supposed to get like X amount of beers. Like there's a whole system or whatever. But me and my dad just kept kind of cycling in and out. And like we'd walk through and look at the Clydesdales, and we'd just like ooh and ah at them again, like we hadn't been there before, and then circle back around. And then finally somebody was like, "Yeah, so we've seen you come in like 4 times now. You're gonna need to kick rocks." And we were like, "All right, well, we're just gonna finish these up then. Thank you though, because it's free beers. You can buy beers, but
it's
like,
free beers.
You get free beers, but like there's like a whole like fucking thing, so you're not supposed to do it multiple times. I forget the exacts of this because this is over 10 years ago. So yeah, there's a whole system to it, and you're not supposed to do it over and over again, but we abused it. Like we did, like we each had one, and then we took like my mother's and my grandmother's, and then we got some other ones, like people weren't having it or didn't want them, like because you could always find the people who are like, oh, I'm a Saudi Arabian tourist. Here's my Anheuser-Busch ticket. I'm not fucking drinking. So you can always find people like that. And then they got us. They were like, yeah, you can't do that. Get out of here.
Assholes.
Right? Dicks.
Assholes.
It's like you're just wasting free beers. Let me drink them.
I promise you, I'm a pro. I'm not going to fight my dad and slip in our vomit.
I went to like an illogical argument. I was like, I know if you don't fucking give them to me, you just pour them down a drain back there, so you might as well use them. They're like, nope, that's not how it works, sir.
No, we just keep them in the keg and sell them to other customers later.
Yeah, I don't believe you.
Sounds like a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, it was nice.
Shit. All right. Asking for a friend and Adam coming up here next.
We aren't doctors, but we'd love to take a look at some more of the middle class holes.
And welcome back to the middle class holes, Alan, Foxman, and Murr. Folks, it's that time of the year, that time of the month. Actually, it couldn't be that time of the year because we have Adam on multiple times.
And I don't like that time of the month.
And I don't like that time of the month either. It's just a random drop in from our handsomely paid and handsome man, our legal correspondent all the way from the Big Apple, Mr. AC Adam Calvert. Adam, thank you for joining us.
Thanks. At least half the statements you just made were accurate.
Don't pander to the audience, okay?
I'm pandering to myself. I just called myself handsome and acknowledge that you guys don't pay me anything.
Yeah. Well, we pay you in exposure, as they used to say in the radio business. But we're paying you exposure.
Oh yeah, I mean,
You know what you're going to get from this?
I got
Cut
clients
this clip up.
beating down my door. They're like, "Oh, I saw you on Middle Class Holes." They're like, "This is the lawyer we want." In court for us. The guy on this podcast who won't even put I mean, I don't even look like a lawyer. I'm wearing a T-shirt.
Well, but they got the Bansky. You got the Bansky behind you, though. That kind of gives you away just a smidge, though. But when all these clients hear you discussing, Axe body spray freezing off a teenager's nipples, they're going to come beating down the door like, I like the cut of that guy's jib right there. Right. He knows a thing or two about criminal law.
I like frozen nipples that could cut something. And these people, these are the type of clients, and this is the type of clientele that are just nervous about walking into an established, respected legal office. Like, God, I can't seek legal counsel under these conditions. They'll laugh me right out of the goddamn building. Now they found their guy.
That's what I want. Just the people who would not go to a legitimate looking lawyer's office. They're like, I want that. That's the clients I want to deal with.
I don't want no square that's all book smart and learned and understands the law and the legalese and how to talk in a courtroom. I want that guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what we do, folks, for those of you who are new to the segment, Asking for a Friend, we pose Adam some legal-esque news stories that have, and we ask for his expertise. And of course, he takes these and he does his own research, which is important this day and age in this, crazy era of misinformation. And then he gives us his advice. So, in the infamous words of the plant from Little Shop of Horrors, Murr, feed Adam Seymour, feed him.
All right. Asking for a friend. There's a man who lived he lived in Boston for the majority of his life, but he started his life off in the Midwest, and his name was Thomas Randell. He died, and his wife of nearly 40 years asked his golfing buddies and his coworkers to stop by the dealership where he sold cars. She had a secret. Past 50 years, he was a fugitive, wanted in one of the largest bank robberies in Cleveland's history. He's living in Boston under a new name since the summer of 1969. And he had cancer, and as he was dying, he left a deathbed confession that he had stolen nearly $400,000 back in 69, which would be like $1.5 million in today's money. So I guess the main question coming from this, should he have kept this a secret, or is it okay now? Has the statute of limitations passed? Can the FBI still go after all the money that he's lived on and earned up to this point? Should he have kept his mouth shut, or should he have boasted more?
Well, I think any lawyer was going to tell any client that did something to keep their mouth shut. So I'd say keep your mouth shut. I mean, yeah, you did it for that long, 50 years, you kept your mouth shut, and then you got to open it up, and now maybe the FBI is going to start looking into his wife's assets. So they're going to take his house, and take his kid's college fund and yada, yada. You couldn't just keep it quiet for another 5 minutes till he died.
Well, is that the strategy that the law enforcement would then go after? It's like, we just have to assume that everything you own is from that money you stole from the bank 50 years ago. It's not a possibility that you could ever have earned another dime since you rolled out of town 50 years ago.
I mean, that would be the really tough part of it is parsing out. I mean, but then again, let's say, what if this guy took that money, moved to Boston, started some company that's now worth millions of dollars, using that money as a seed money, right? I mean, that'd be kind of easy to trace.
Well,
but here's what he did with the money. I mean, it would just be so tough to track back.
We do know.
Why put your family through the hassle?
We do know at one point he filed for bankruptcy. I don't recall the year it was in. It started with a 2, so it's within the last 20 some odd years. So when you throw the hypothetical, he could have made lots of money by investing in the company. Didn't happen. He pissed it all away.
Oh, I don't think I saw that in the story that Merce sent me.
I don't see it in this one either. We've done several moron bank robbery stories, so we could be confusing a few of them. But that does.
Yeah. I would say that would be in that case, yeah, why not? Because you've already declared bankruptcy. Everything up to that point, and then after that point is, separate.
Okay, so whether he did or didn't, so asking for a friend, legal advice would be if you did rob a bank several years ago, maybe stash some of those funds in a non-disclosed location, file for bankruptcy from your real life financial situation, and then go dig it up a little while later and they can't touch it?
I mean, I don't want to be giving criminals advice on how to evade the law in here, but I can find no flaw in that plan.
I think in 1969 that would work. In 1969, that would absolutely work. I think now it would not.
Yeah, that's tougher. I think it is tougher now. Is there is there a statute that says they have to hold him accountable by the laws from 1969 when this happened, or can he continue to be prosecuted in a different manner? I don't know what bank robbery laws were back in 1969, but I have a feeling that the criminal penalties may have changed since. So whether they were harsher or lighter, would they have to hold him to those rules and law, or would they hold him to something from today, if the laws have changed?
I mean, I'd say generally speaking, well, in this situation, you have a continuing crime if you're using the money and you're tracking it through all the years. So no, I would say that in that case, you probably have the more recent ones, but other things that are sort of like a moment in time, then generally the laws of that time would apply. It really depends on a lot of different things. It's kind of like way too. That's like a bar exam, law school exam type question. I don't think you guys want to hear a 10-minute answer. So
no. Well, okay. Let's dumb it down in the best way possible. Let's say you lived in a state where you could challenge a man to a duel, and you shot and killed him.
That's you dumbing it down by bringing in dueling law.
Yes. And so in the duel, you shoot and kill the man. But you don't tell anybody, and it was obviously what do you call it? Mutual combat. I think there's still a legal term, mutual combat. And then years later, they're like, "Hey, you killed old Jimmy McGillicuddy back in 1959." The duel laws were in play back then. And then the cops are like, "Nah, buddy, you shot him in cold blood." No. This was a duel. This was mutual combat. If you got taken to trial, could you argue that in the era it was mutual combat, and therefore today's laws do not apply to the crime?
Oh yeah. In that case, yeah.
I'm 2 for 2 on stupid fucking grifter fucking clauses.
Yeah, but fucking bank robbery was definitely illegal in 1969.
Yeah, I don't think none of us were alive.
Way off base.
Yeah, it's a good point. I maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I'm going to say maybe it wasn't as serious.
I get what you're saying though. If bank robbery in 1969, if the maximum penalty was, let's say, 10 years, but now it's 50 years, would he get the 10 or would he get the 50? I would assume he'd get the 50. But then again, I guess the bigger question begs is it past the statute of limitations? Is there a statute of limitations on robbing banks?
Yeah, usually. I mean. Look, it's going to vary state to state, and could depend if it's a federal crime as well.
Yeah.
But usually there's a statute of limitations on something like that. I believe in this case there was. The only reason that I guess he couldn't let it run was that they indicted him before the statute ran. So once you're charged, that's when the statute stops running. But they just didn't know where he was. So if he had just gotten away scot-free, we have no idea who did this, we have no idea who to charge with it, and then it runs, and then you come out, hey, it's me, statute ran. Yeah, it's fine in that situation. All right.
I have another ploy.
Here we go.
Okay. Go 3 for 3.
Loophole McMurrayton coming at you.
Okay. So I'm gonna pull the Miracle on 34th Street clause on this one for you. Okay. So he lived the majority of his life under a different identity. He lived 50 years as the man living in Boston, whereas he robbed the bank when he was 20 years old in Cleveland. So if I was in court and I called all the people that actually knew anything of him they would not call him by the name that he was once recognized as his birth name. They would only recognize him as the man he's been for the last 50 years. So are you now trying the wrong man for a crime that he did not commit? Wesley?
Well, I was going to, isn't it illegal to create an identity like that? Like he did? Although he got away with it.
Yeah, he did. I mean, I think he got like a fake social security number or something, I'm sure, or something like that. So yeah, I mean, you can't say, oh, well, it's John Smith. My name's, Adam Calvert now. Not me.
I'm just saying the government did legally recognize him as a different person for more time than they actually recognized him as the person of birth.
No, sorry, man. You two for three so far.
All right. Okay,
you quit while you're ahead.
You can't win them all. I'm just trying to strategize for the future, okay? I don't know when retirement's coming. Hopefully it was coming for Mike McGillicuddy a lot sooner than Andrew Murr. That's my fake name, by the way. All right. Our second story in Asking for a Friend involves a couple of Florida women who were busted for a 3 a.m. glitter attack. Now, this is on the Smoking Gun, so it basically reads like the police report. 2 Florida women are each facing felony burglary charges after allegedly performing a 3 a.m. glitter attack on a male victim. They say that the women arrived early in the morning and began arguing with the man on his fenced balcony. They then entered his home and started glitter bombing him. So basically just throwing fistfuls of glitter. Now, how is that considered felony assault? Can that be explained?
Well, the glitter, I don't think is, but didn't they like kick him and kick his door down and like throw the bottles at him or something like that? It was a little more than just the glitter.
They
it was just the glitter, yeah.
They coded
it. Stabbed him and Murr didn't mention it. Fucking, he's focused on handfuls of glitter.
What are you accusing me of?
I said, whether they stab him and you just didn't mention it, you were so focused on the glitter.
It says cops allege
sprinkle the glitter on
each threw now this might be where you're getting confused. Each threw a container of glitter at the man who was struck in the upper torso and head, and then an argument ensued. It doesn't say that they actually like assaulted him with like fisticuffs or any kind of. Now that might be where you're getting confused. Basically, what I'm imagining they did was like, imagine you had a jar full of glitter and then you, you're aware of antiquing. When Wes would walk around the house when you fell asleep and threw flour in your face. That would be the modern version, or actually the yesteryear's version of glitter bombing. Wes would flour bomb you. Was Wes committing felony assault on an unconscious victim back circa early 2000s?
No, because I think from what I read in the article that it was glitter containers, right? So it could have been like these glass jars full of glitter. We don't know, right? It's like if you throw a beer can or a beer bottle at somebody, you could be like, oh yeah, that's felony assault. You really hurt somebody. But if you just puff some glitter at them, I mean, that's or some flour. That's a whole different story. That's not felony assault.
All it says is throwing containers of glitter at him.
Containers.
I don't think they were whining.
Containers.
Yeah. Maybe they didn't
walk around. Wait, hold on. I think you're caught up in the semantics here. I don't think you just walk around. Nobody walked around with loose glitter. It's impossible.
Right.
But
if you threw a bottle at somebody.
Yeah.
What Adam's saying is,
if I throw just juice at you, it's not going to hurt. If I throw a bottle of juice at you, it'd knock your fucking out.
Yeah.
Wes, what were you going to say?
I think what we really need to get to the bottom of is whether or not they excavated handfuls of glitter out of the jar and then threw them as a snowball or antique-like fashion, or if they just took jars that were full of glitter and they used glitter to weight these jars down for maximum.
See, here's what I was thinking. So, I think we've discussed this on the podcast before, but there are those services where you can send like glitter bombs to people. Those things are like spring-loaded contraptions. So what if they use these like spring-loaded glitter contraptions and, blew a fucker's eye out or something? And that's that kind of medical damage warrants felony charges, right? I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. If there was medical damage, but there was no mention of him like being injured. I don't think they were. Okay, here's my reason why I don't think they were throwing the actual glass containers of glitter at them, is because then there would be no point in mentioning the word glitter. That would
It got you to read the story, didn't it?
Yeah, but
Right?
this is I'm reading the police report essentially. Like, there's no. It's a glitter attack. They didn't say a glass bottle attack. They didn't say hit him with.
These reports have to be very specific.
Oh,
You know, it's in the details.
Okay, well, let's do my fantasy version of this since it's so outlandish.
Oh, it is a fantasy because it involves glitter, just so you know.
Yeah, goddamn right. If they were throwing fistfuls of glitter at him, would it still be considered assault?
Well, okay, so it would still be considered assault. Now, I'll answer one question. The felony assault might be because one of the girls broke the guy's window in his house and busted in. So when you commit a felony along with another crime, it can sometimes up that crime. But to answer your other question, the glitter, I mean, assault technically is any unlawful, well, depends. Some states distinguish between assault and battery. One is like scaring somebody and the other is actually touching somebody. But the touching doesn't have to be causing harm. You could slap a drink out of somebody's hand and that's assault.
Okay, well, your logic holds up because the felony charge is for burglary, and then it's mixed in with criminal mischief and assault or battery for the, I guess, the glitter making forceful contact with the victim's upper torso.
I mean, this case kind of just fits the definition of what you would think criminal mischief would be, right? Like throwing glitter. It's
Yeah.
mischievous.
Yeah.
It's not. I think it's actual. Sounds all that bad.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know this guy's relationship status, but it seems like these chicks would have been down to do. They'd be throwing a lot more than glitter around. You know what I'm saying? If he had just maybe played ball with them, I think they were probably mad that he didn't like accept their weird, crazy hillbilly advances in this situation. So, do they? Okay, so what's the outcome in your mind on the? Just take a plea deal. This guy gets a bunch of money and then moves on.
They're
with
probably
life.
gonna get like probation or something like that. It sounds like they were just drunk messing with somebody they probably knew. And
Yeah, they're gonna have to, they're gonna have to go to middle and high schools and explain why not to do that to other men. This is why you don't want to throw balls of glitter at
Throw
men.
glitter at men.
Yeah,
Well, okay, since this is asking for a friend, let's just say back in the early 2000s, I had a friend that if you passed out on a couch after a night of drinking and they came around a corner with a fistful of flour, and let's say that flour got into my eye and I was too incapacitated to wake up, and it formed like a dough. And because of the natural yeast in the air, I got some sort of yeast infection in my eye and it was inflamed and I had to go to the doctor. Would said friend be responsible for all of my medical costs at the end of the day?
yeah, you'd have to sue them, but yeah.
no,
How
but
much
see,
I get?
also
I don't know how much
like,
your friend got deep pockets.
the court system knew the rules in the early 2000s about passing out with your shoes on. It would be null and void. I mean, listen, we knew the rules. These were legal, federal.
What if I wanted to sue a group of people for a similar type thing?
like a class
Yeah,
action?
actually, well, you know what? They probably have more money, right? They probably got an insurance policy or something to cover that sort
Yeah,
of thing.
marginally, I'd say.
I mean, you're wearing glasses. You probably developed some sort of condition, right?
It's true.
You know?
It's true.
Yeah, it took about 20 years, but my eyesight did finally deteriorate.
Well,
It
you know,
fell apart.
you see those asbestos commercials on TV still. They haven't used asbestos in 30, 40 years and anything.
I have anticophilioma.
I got that mesothelia. Yeah, there you go.
Mesothelioma.
There you
You
go.
gotta get it right. You gotta get it right for the jury. Come on.
I know. Anticophilioma. Being
Antico-
antiqued.
Oh,
Drunken
yeah,
party.
I gotcha. I see what you did there.
I have
I see
asshole friendsitis. All right.
Guilty. And finally, in asking for a friend, we've all been in a, not recently, but a middle school locker room. And
Grace.
there was a then 15-year-old schoolboy who was dared by some friends to empty the entire container. Now, over in jolly old England, it's called Lynx. Here, it's known as Axe body spray, and they dared him to basically empty 2 containers of Lynx body spray, one onto each nipple. He said it started to burn. It was cold. And then all of a sudden, I felt nothing. And that's when someone came by and flicked his nipples, and his nipples shattered.
I would just like to say, if I could have done it all over again, the flower would have been child's play. I would have emptied Axe on your guys' nipples while you were sleeping. Just, if I could have relived it. Go on, Adam.
So yes, so they emptied the bottles of Axe body spray onto his nipples. Somebody came by, flicked his nipples. Apparently, the peak of the nipples shattered and fell off. The nipples are discolored and basically it's got frostbitten nipples. So I guess several questions here. Since he did this voluntarily, is anybody else in the room criminally liable for him losing his nipples? And should there be any kind of legal action, or could there be any kind of legal action against the manufacturers for not having a warning label not to empty the entire contents of the bottle onto any open skin?
Okay, to answer this was in the UK, so I'm going to assume it was US, because I'm not going to learn.
Yeah, we're going by
for you
US
guys.
laws. Fuck everybody else.
Sure.
We still run the world, barely hanging on by a thread, but let's just go by our laws.
So let's paint the picture. Hey, Adam, we just got done gym class. Check this out. I want to spray 2 cans of Axe on both of your nipples. And they froze off, and then, I don't know, one of our dick-headed friends came by, like, wow, look at that. And they're gone.
Yeah. All right. So I would say there's no criminal action because you consented to it, right? You definitely held the guy down and yada yada, or if you did it to him while he was asleep. So yeah, no criminal action. Now I don't know. I'm just kind of shocked that happened. First off, right?
Yeah.
I mean, did any of you guys think that could happen from a can of Axe body spray?
I mean, I would know. In retrospect, now that I've read the story, I'm like, oh yeah, because it's, under high pressure. Anything under high pressure is going to come out cold. But no, not in the moment.
No, I certainly would have gun to my head. I'd have been like, nah, man, nipples are tough. Those withstand a lot.
What? I got to see your nipples again, man. Nipples are the least tough thing on your body.
Wes has always got to get new shirts. He's always rubbing through them with his
That's right.
really tough nipples.
I got to get these tri-blend puppies now.
But yeah, I mean, look, if they can do that, I would be surprised if there wasn't some sort of warning on there. If not, then I mean, I think there would definitely be a lawsuit.
What would you advise this client of? Okay, they were they're at school. So technically, I guess they're supposed to be adults in charge. I mean, I don't know how long it takes how long, if you use it normally, would a can of Axe body spray last? Like a month, 2 months?
Yeah, but I'm saying like in a long burst, I'd say like 30 seconds.
But I don't know. It just seems like a long time for a bunch of, 15-year-olds to be standing around with like no supervision at all to empty the entire contents of this. Laugh, giggle, look at his nipples, flick them, they shatter. Ha 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 ha. It seems like a long amount of time.
I was going to say, well, the length is relative. To an adult, yeah, maybe a month or two. To a teenage boy, a week. Tops. They just
I know, but you see my point though. Like, okay, if Charlie Givens were anywhere in the vicinity, if he was on school grounds, he would have known this horse shit was happening within like 5 to 10 seconds. What are you doing over there? No, get that Axe body spray off your nipples. Now go shower.
I mean, you could find 30 seconds in the locker room. I don't know. That's not. I don't think that's really that absurd. But when I was reading the story, the kid's like, "Oh yeah, I'm." He went like to class right afterwards, and like he's like, shirt.
Yeah.
And it's just surprising. Maybe it's because it was in the UK, or maybe this will happen when some lawyer gets a hold of him. But the kid didn't. There's no talk about suing Axe body spray.
Right.
If that happened here, oh yeah. I mean, that would have been. It's like the woman who gorilla glued the hair to herself, right? Instant lawsuit. Here, oh yeah, it'd be a lawsuit. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
And what would you like? What would the okay? What could he go after? What would be the claim? And then what would be the monetary? What do you think you could get somebody like that?
I mean,
How much do 2 cans of links cost? Let's figure that out.
All right. Well, the thing is, like, when you try to put a value on, especially when you have like burn cases are kind of hard to evaluate. I mean, when I do these cases, how much a torn meniscus is worth, how much a torn labrum is worth, spinal fusion, all that sort of stuff. The burns and scarring ones are always tough to evaluate. So let me ask you, how much money would it take for you to have your nipples burned and flicked off and kind of look like all weird for the rest of your life?
Give me like
what would that be worth to you?
$5,000 each. I'll fucking part ways with those puppies.
No,
I want you on my jury.
You run a hard bargain. Juror number 12.
I was going to go a minimum of 20,000 a nipple. Minimum of 20,000 a nipple.
Ooh, that's a lot. I mean, I could probably make do with like 5 to 10.
Wow.
Like that seems reasonable. I mean, I don't use my nipples.
Yeah, I was
it's
gonna
not
say,
like
we're men.
what do I use my nipples for?
You don't think you use your nipples, but man, like, what if they scab over? What if they come back weird? Are your shirts going to look right? Are you going to have pokies for the rest of your day?
Shirts are going to look fine because I don't have nipples.
Yeah, flat, baby. Good.
No, or because of the frostbite, maybe you end up with like open areola holes, and and you've got like sunken, like you put on a nice, maybe you're nice and fit, you're like looking good, you're like, gosh, yeah, I'm gonna put this nice tight shirt on. All of a sudden, you got fucking like crater spots in the middle of your chest. That ain't cool, man. You gotta walk around like that for the rest of your goddamn life. I want 20,000 a nipple.
How does $20,000 suffice then? Because of the need,
like,
potential need of plastic surgery or something?
Well, I mean, that would be a whole separate thing. You could tackle on the actual economic cost of that.
Okay.
But the pain, the pain and suffering and the, I mean, look, you could get somebody up there. Oh, every time I go to the beach, I'm self-conscious. I can't go to the pool. I had a girl that I met and I really liked her. And, got back to my place. I took my shirt off. I'm just like, what's wrong with your nipples? It's so weird. And then I started crying. Oh my gosh, my not having my nipples is just, it crushes my soul. Give me $1 million, So
Damn, you're good. I definitely want 50,000.
I think I could sell that.
Yeah.
At least 50,000 a nipple now.
And I just say, like you say, pain and suffering. This kid went back to class, and I don't know what they do in the UK, but they ought to consider using this young man for stress tests of human perception during psychology experiments, because he seems to be impervious. He's like, oh, nipples are going? Shit, I'm running late for math. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah.
Well, I think that comes down to like, like high school, middle school, like pride, pride can hide the pain, my friend. I mean, you just did something fucking douchebaggish and stupid. You can't show any weakness. You have to. That's like being in a Korean torture camp. You got to walk out of there with your head held high.
Unless you're in extreme pain, like, you're eating that. You're going to you wouldn't have done anything. You wouldn't have called home. You would have went to class.
He probably wants to show it off. He's like, his nipples bleeding. Oh yeah, man. He's got my nipples singed off and flicked off. Oh yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, like, he's getting attention. His nipples are bleeding in the middle of class. And he's got this funny story. Yeah, I mean, that kid is eating it up.
This is also
until that lawyer gets a hold.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, right.
This is also one of those folklore ones where, because when I was in middle school, the folklore was someone that was there like 3 or 4 years before us fell with an X-Acto blade in his pocket and cut one of his nuts off. Okay. And so when I got out of school, I thought maybe it was just one of those things where, like, he fell and he cut himself. He got a jab in his hip or his upper thigh or something like that and bled a little bit. And then after like 5 or 6 years, we get there and like, oh yeah, he cut his balls off. One of his balls fell off and he put it back in his pocket and went to class. I guarantee you in 5 years' time, they're going to say this kid's fucking dick fell off due to Lynx body spray. They put 2 cans on his dick and balls and someone flicked it off and it shattered like some X-Man froze it. Like Storm froze the damn thing.
Well, asking for myself, I was in Mr. Lepoli's fucking like it was still in, I think it was it industrial technology, was that they called that shit? And he handed out hot glue guns to everybody, and no instruction. I mean, I guess it's pretty simple. Hey, it's just hot, this is glue, squirt it here. Well, I was going quack, 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 bam, and I went like that, and I touched my neck. And like, if you have an old hot glue gun, you've got like hot glue remnants all around that little nipple there, and the hot glue stuck to my neck, burned the shit out of me, and I peeled like half my neck off. It was like blood and red. And he's like, "You okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll be all right." Because I was in middle school. That's what you do. But I've sued Looper Lapoli for negligence.
I mean, if he didn't give you any instructions, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Can't let a dumb kid like you just have a hot glue gun.
Yeah, you can't have a dumb middle schooler using a hot glue gun and not expect him to act like James Bond after he fires off like 5 squirts of hot glue. What the fuck you thinking?
Well, you're talking about suing him now?
Yeah, I know.
We've talked about how he passed. So
Adam, do you know how he died?
I don't know. I want to say I've heard this, but
yeah,
the woodworking teacher was killed by a piece of wood.
He was mowing his lawn, and a piece of a dry rotted tree broke off and fell on him. God,
that's
I
right.
don't even want to joke about that. I feel bad for the guy.
Jesus,
that's like an ending to like a cheesy story. Someone's like, "Oh, I know, I'll bring this around and make it real obvious." Yeah, that's just you wouldn't be able to write that because it's just too on the nose.
And then they made his coffin out of it.
I like it.
Edit credits. Like it. Good night, folks.
Netflix will make that.
Oh, I'm sorry, I had to. Okay, all right. Well, that, my friends, is asking for a friend.
All right.
Like a warm, creamy chutney. Get ready for another spoonful of the middle class holes.
And welcome back to the Middle Class Holes, Alan Murr and Foxman. All right, it's time for that one of our favorite segments, OMG Fun Facts. I'm here to let you guys know that I'm fully engaged this week. I'm not going to pretend to know things that I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to flip-flop between Asian and European geography or mythical horses or whatever it is. I'm just going to say yes or no, I know it, and I'm going to comment on it. I'm going to pay attention. I'm going to pay attention that I don't even know my co-host's name. Murr, take it away.
Let's get to it, my friends. It is officially time for 5 fun facts for you fuckers on a Friday. OMG Facts. It is Fun Fact Friday, brought to you by the Shin Splints Recovery Group. If you've got any pain below the knee and above the ankle and you need yourself a like-minded set of simple-brained morons like yourself, head on over to the Facebook page, the Shin Splints Recovery Group, on the internet. Find it now. Let's get to it. 5 fun facts for you fuckers on a Friday. Did you know the difference between a nook and a cranny is that the nook is a corner and the cranny is a crack?
Wait, what'd you just say? Sorry.
I fucking knew it was coming. Jerk off.
Now, I actually understood this differently than the fun fact is saying, but the difference between a nook and a cranny is the nook is a corner and the cranny is a crack, which I guess still makes sense. I was always under the impression that the nook was the peak. Like, if you're looking at in Thomas's English Muffin, which is where we all know nooks and crannies from, is that the nook was the peak and the cranny was the valley, which still kind of makes sense according to the fun fact, but a nook is a corner and a cranny is a crack.
I did not know that.
Yeah, no. I mean, I guess
it makes sense. Like, if I were to, like, when I think of like a nook, I think of a more like a corner type, like a bay window. You know, it's like a reading nook. You know what I mean? So something like that. So I guess the corner kind of makes sense. I would have never guessed just crack for cranny.
But at what point do you use cranny outside of an English muffin? But at what point do you use cranny? I mean, a nook, a breakfast nook. Yeah, it's tucked away in the corner. But But what do you use a cranny for? Like, at what point does that word enter your vocabulary?
It's a cranky granny.
Nope. It literally only happens. It only happens when I'm smearing preserves onto a breakfast bread. That's it. It's the only time.
I love. Oh man, I love with a Thomas English muffin. Those two sides, man. One always gets crispier than the other, and putting that. Oh, I will just put like the biggest pat of butter you can think of on there, and I'll actually put it like. I don't know what kind of toaster oven you have, but I've got like the real toaster oven. I'll put it back in the toaster oven after it's already been crisped and like turn it on for another 30 seconds and let that butter get all like gelatinous and juicy.
Get all in the nooks and crannies of the English muffin. All the corners and cracks.
Let those crannies fill up like little fucking valleys of butter. And then I'll just sit there, let it drip down my chin.
Damn. I'm gonna have to go make a run in the morning.
I think I gotta stop by and get some fucking English muffins. Yeah, damn right.
See, I've gotten in the morning. I've gotten into this. Murr's gonna kill me. It's like a any type of bread, just quality bread. I don't give a fuck if it's sourdough, maple rye, or whatever. Toast it, avocado, and then everything bagel seasoning on that. I'm a big fan of that.
I'm not upset about that. I'm not upset about that at all.
I like it.
Yeah. This is my breakfast every morning is because I'm on my health kick. It's all natural peanut butter, so it's just fucking peanuts ground to a fucking pulp. I make myself like a peanut butter and natural preserves sandwich.
May I ask a very lay question that I could Google it, but I'm going to ask you. Okay, because I have had that peanut butter before, and I enjoy it because when I turn it around and I look at ingredients, it's peanuts. And that's nice. It's comforting here. Why is it that when it sits for a little while, it always has that gelatinous kind of watery filler on the top?
It's just oil.
Peanuts are oily as fuck, bro.
But does the peanut butter sit down and push the oil to the top? Is that just gravity doing its thing?
Yep.
It's like, okay, you know, like in gold mining, like the way they sift the gold, the pan, like the gold's the heaviest stuff, so it sinks to the bottom. So the peanuts are heavier than the oil, and the oil
butter's the heaviest part. Yep.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. I mean, so I never paid it. I never looked at it and went, ew. I always just churned it real fast. And then
it's the same principle as your fucking balsamic vinaigrette. When it settles and you've got all that oil on the top, you shake and shake. Good to go.
Oh, gotcha. I made myself a workaround hack. So, because the natural peanut butter, when you get a fresh jar, you've got about an inch of oil on top of that shit. So I got my power drill, and then I got like the on the mixer, you've got the two types of like mixer blades. You got the one that looks like, I don't know, like the thing you see on people's roofs to vent them. You've got that mixer blade, and then you got like the pigtail one. So I'll get the pigtail one and I'll jam it into my power drill, and then I just slowly fist that motherfucker. Damn. Up and down, baby.
I feel like that takes way too long.
No. It takes exactly 1 minute with the power drill, and it takes about 5 minutes if you try stirring that shit with your fucking hands, because you got to work it, man. It is a chore. It is a chore with natural peanut butter. It's a chore you have to take for your body and your health.
So what is like what's your I know my favorite breakfast outside of like my favorite breakfast that I like to cook. Do you guys have a go-to? Like, yep, that's it. Boom.
Bacon, eggs, toast is my absolute like favorite.
Okay.
Anytime.
So it's either just like some fruits. I'm a big apple guy, so I like I like that kind of stuff. But if I'm making myself breakfast, it's either like a standard breakfast sandwich, usually bacon, egg, and cheese, on some kind of bread, or what I do a lot of is like I'll pre-prep fucking sweet potatoes, like sweet potato like home fries, essentially.
Yeah.
Basically, like I cubed up sweet potatoes. You can get them like already pre-cubed at certain grocery stores if you're fucking feeling lazy. And so what you typically do, we'll cook that all up, and I'll like cook them al dente almost. And I'll pre-prep them and put them in a big old bowl, and I cook them up with like onions and garlic and maybe a little salt and pepper and some olive oil. And then every morning I'll take a cup of that and I'll fucking throw it in a skillet and heat it up, and I'll top it with like a over medium egg or something along those lines. And then like every now and then I'll grab like whatever meat that I have in there. A lot of times like I'll have like lunch meat ham. So I'll just chop up like a couple slices of lunch meat ham, throw it up in the fucking potatoes, throw a fucking over medium egg on that bitch, little hot sauce, good to go. And it's very good for you. Sweet potatoes are better than white potatoes. Fuck white potatoes, guys. Get those out of your diet. It's bad for you.
See, so if someone's cooking for me, it's huevos rancheros. That's my favorite breakfast of all time. I do like a corned beef hash, but again, for myself. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, sorry, I'll go.
This is weird because for myself, it's just like it's just a different version of what Alan said. So I broil a piece of bread, and then in a pan, or a pot, I do a can of black beans and diced tomatoes. Usually with diced tomatoes with green chilies. Get that up, fucking loaded with chili powder, and then in a pan, I'll fry 2 eggs. So it's bread, a healthy serving of the beans and tomato mix, 2 eggs, and then hot sauce just all over it, and maybe some cheese every now and then. That's like when I'm cooking for myself. That's ideal, and a big thing of black coffee.
Yeah, just spray a little cheese on there. The sweet potatoes are the base for the breakfast. You can throw pretty much anything else in there on top. Yeah. But what I will say is what I have actually, I guess I'll say I learned it. It's not really so much as learned as I just tried it and realized it was very easy. I made some fucking sausage gravy with some biscuits.
Ooh, yeah.
And yeah, that like, it's idiot proof for the most part, and fucking it takes, I don't know, like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I you just jogged something loose in my memory, because when I had to drive to South Carolina with my family every fucking year, twice a year, the one treat we got on the way, leaving the house at 4 a.m. was stopping at Hardee's for biscuit and gravy. Now, here's the thing. And again, this is back in the day when, like, I guess each franchise like had to like home make their own gravy. Mm-hmm. The further you got south, the better the gravy got. Like if you stopped in like, I don't know, Maryland at Hardee's, it was just this bland ass, just fucking. It was just fat and flour. That's all the gravy was. But then as you got into Virginia, you started to get a little more sausage in there. And then when you got to North Carolina, got a little more salt in there. But by the time you got to South Carolina, you got every fucking mouth fucking flavor you wanted in your Hardee's sausage gravy.
Like if your sausage gravy is still white, you fucked up.
Yeah.
It's gotta be like a tint of brownish yellow. Like yeah. Fucking top notch. Just good shit. So yeah, I've been experimenting with that. I did different types of sausage. Used whole milk. Used 2%. 2% actually makes it a little bit sweeter. Believe it or not.
It's got sugar in it because when they take the fat out, they have to add sugar in order to make it.
That's what I said, and my wife was like, "Nah, that doesn't make sense." And I was like, "They did. That's why I drink whole milk. It's fucking bullshit ass 2%."
I heard from a dietitian at Anne Arundel that after the age of like 4, you don't need to drink any of those. You should drink skim milk. Now she's not saying that she's like drink whatever you want. I'm just telling you the perfect diet type thing. Because
I don't drink whole milk because I think it's better for me. Mm-hmm. I drink it because it's delicious.
Yeah. And I'm never drinking skim milk for anything.
Actually, I would say if you're drinking it in moderation, whole milk is better for you. It's got more protein in it. It's got a lot more fat, but as long as you're not guzzling it like a as long as you're not filling up like like a pint glass full of milk. Like if you have a juice glass of milk, whole milk is better for you.
Well, her point is that the nutrients that you get out of milk can all be obtained via skim milk because you don't need those fats anymore, which as a child when you're breastfeeding, those are essential. By the time you get to like 3 or 4, depending upon your body type and physiology and whatever, and how far you've developed, you don't need those things from natural milk anymore. And I did ask, I was like, hey, we did drink this stuff for centuries, right? She was like, not as much as you think. Not as much as you think.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not. It was more of a luxury. But fuck that bullshit. Whole milk's the way to go.
Yeah.
If I wanted, look, when I smoked cigarettes, I didn't smoke ultralights because if I wanted to fucking breathe air, I would have just breathed air and not paid for cigarettes. Okay, so if I want to drink milk, I'm gonna fucking drink whole milk. I'm not gonna drink water, which is what skim milk is. I'll just fucking drink water. It's stupid.
I agree.
It's straight.
I agree.
Margarine for this guy either. It's all butter.
Fucking butter. It's unsalted though, because
fuck that. No, I want salted cream butter. That's the way you go. You're gonna use butter. You might as well fucking enjoy it. Jesus Christ.
I hope my shit's injected with cancer. I want my shit with like syringed.
Well, apparently cancer's delicious. Did you know a tiger's tongue is so rough it can lick the paint off a building?
Jesus.
Says who?
You want to do some field research?
I'm gonna Google it.
I didn't know that, but there's so do you guys know Kevin Richardson? You if you saw him, you would know him. No, he's like it's like a Steve Irwin type who has a big cat farm in South Africa, and he's like one with them. He goes into the pen. He has hyenas. He has tigers. He has lions. He has he's kind of this zoologist turned semi-celebrity. If you saw him, you'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. Murr's looking him up. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking him up. Go ahead. What's your point?
Well, he was doing a shoot with a lion. The lion was licking him, and he kind of made a comment. He's like, "Damn!" He's like, "That thing's like fucking sandpaper." These suckers, it's like it's not comfortable when they get like comfortable to sit there and just like lick your forearm over and over again. It's not comfortable. So that's my only frame of reference.
I see him, but I still don't know who he is. But no, okay, you know how a house cat feels, just like as it's rough. So now, imagine you multiply the size of that house cat, I don't know, by like 50.
It's like a wooden ice cream scoop to a welcome mat in your front door.
Yeah, no, and I've seen every now and again at the old Plumpton Park Zoo right down the road, they'll have like a tiger feeding, and you can go watch it. Mm-hmm. And they like hang up like whole chickens from like the tops of the cages and like make them jump for them and shit. And they get one up real close. You know what Velcro looks like? You know when you like the hook part of it, you can see those from 10 feet away on their tongue. So I can imagine. Basically, the point is everything on a tiger will kill you.
Yeah.
I think that's the moral of the story.
Even its piss. It's like the venom from aliens. Or their blood, rather.
Burn you. The ammonia will just eat through your skin.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a little bit of an exaggeration, but as you Google it, it's like you said, all right, house cats got the rough tongues. And it's like, yeah, tigers got the same thing. And its purpose is for helping to strip fur and meat and feathers off of bone. So
wow,
makes sense.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't mean that like there's like one lick's gonna take the paint off the building, but I imagine a tiger is rather persistent. Yeah,
it aids them in the eating of flesh, generally speaking.
What I do find interesting with the tongues. Have you ever seen a cat versus a dog drinking water?
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. Like the dog like dips his tongue in, turns it into a bowl, and then scoops it back into its mouth.
But it goes outward or towards it, while as the cat makes a bowl in front of it, and it's much more efficient.
Man, so dogs are dumb.
I suppose. Yeah,
I think I opined on the stupidity of dogs when we talked about dogs and monkeys.
Right. Dogs don't.
Monkeys killed those dogs or some shit.
Cats don't speak monkey, at least as far as we know, right?
Cats do not speak monkey, from what I'm aware. From my latest research, cats have yet to speak monkey.
Right, but also monkeys haven't sabotaged an entire pack of lions or cheetahs or
Well, because cats being the smarter of the cat, or feline canine duo here, when they had discussions before killing a fucking baby monkey, they were like, "Look, man, those things have thumbs." And they can probably talk to each other. So we should not do this. This sounds like a bad idea. And that's when Fido fucking went and killed that baby monkey. And so ensued fucking dog murder.
Or maybe also the monkeys were like, listen, we've done a licking comparison, and these goddamn cats are just rough. Ugh, I don't like it.
It's fair. Like that. In all ways, was this more beneficial for the monkeys to kill dogs than it was for them to fuck with cats?
That's a good point.
Cats probably have more hunting prowess to kill monkeys.
Yeah. Cats are always on a mission. Dogs are just, I don't know what the fuck dogs are doing. I don't know.
They're watching.
They're
watching Men on a Mission from WWF.
Thank you. Did you know the Beastie Boys album Licensed to Ill was the first rap album to go to #1 on the Billboard charts?
Dude, Licensed to Ill. Is that like 84, 85?
Probably. I feel like later, but maybe that thing just had such good legs that it hung around for quite some time.
86.
86.
Yeah. No, I did #1. I'm trying to think of like anything before that.
I was a month away from being alive.
Yeah. Good.
I was 7.
You were
with your old ass.
Alan, you were pretty much like in utero, Licensed to Ill, just ready to
I was chilling.
Ready to roll. I mean, I like if you were to say, hey, give me something that would have been #1 before that, I think that there would have been things that sniffed the top 10, but now that I think about it, it makes sense. Not #1 hits. #1 hits is different. And then again, I don't know. Did Rapper's Delight get to #1? Doubt it. Did Grandmaster Flash?
I think after that it was Run DMC.
The album.
I don't know about album, but I think like Walk This Way. I think the single got up. I don't want to say it was #1, but it was pretty damn high.
First hip hop single at #1 was Ice Ice Baby.
Jesus. Oh, God, what a shit representation. That's terrible.
1990.
All right, stop. Collaborate. And listen. Here's the thing, though.
Remember, he had a soul patch, by the way. Just want to let you guys know.
We've discussed this. I don't want to be put in the same category as Vanilla Ice. Thank you. But I heard Rob Van Winkle. But, again, this tells you how far that we've come as a society as far as race relations are concerned. You got to convince the white people that it's not a bad thing, and then they'll fall in line with it. So you had to get 3 white guys to make a rap album, to accept rap as a cultural phenomenon. Then you had some douchebag like Vanilla Ice. You had to have him have a song like that, which he also sampled one of the whitest white people songs of all time in order to reach that pinnacle.
Good point.
Ding, 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 tink. Travis Diaz has the tink.
It's different. Totally different. I mean, I understand I ripped off of Under Pressure pretty much verbatim, but it's different.
It's unrecognizable because of that single note.
It's not even a note. It's a cymbal crash. And actually, I listened to I heard Under Pressure the other day, and I specifically listened for that. That is in the original. It's in the original. Yeah, it loops twice, and on the second one, they hit a cymbal crash, and it goes back, and it loops itself, and that's definitely in there. Vanilla Ice was full of shit. He was trying to protect his status and his paper.
Yeah,
he's from the streets.
I think that was their first album. Yeah.
What?
The Beastie Boys.
Yeah, License to Ill.
Yeah, they went Ball's Boutique, Check Your Head, and then Ill Communication, which is my personal favorite.
What's the one with the? Okay, favorite Beastie Boys song then? Go.
Ill Communication.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't have one. Brass Monkey. No, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna blaspheme against you two.
No, sorry.
I don't fucking really like them.
Get it together. Sorry, I messed that up. Get it together.
Okay.
Q-tip.
Okay. My Sabotage. I love Sabotage. I think.
Yeah, Sabotage is a good song.
Yeah. I mean, but it's almost a rock song.
Yeah.
I think it's more than it is a rap song. But did you know the way you can tell if you're whispering or not is to put your hand at your throat. If you feel vibrations, you're talking. If you don't, you're whispering. You have to make sound. This is a whisper. There's no vibration.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I can feel it.
Stupidest thing.
Have you guys ever?
Why are we doing?
Have you ever heard the song "Feel the Vibration"? It's a great song. Who the hell made that?
Didn't that lady, the lady who was in the music video, was not the lady in the Feel the Vibration?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Feel the
the lady
vibration.
in the music video.
Yeah,
You talking about Marky Mark and the Fun Bunch?
Is that?
it was Marky Mark.
Oh yeah, it was, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Come on. Feel it.
I think I'm pretty sure that's one of like a number of songs where like this fat black lady sang the vocals, but they put a skinny black lady in the video.
Oh, they pulled a
Like,
Milli
dude.
Vanilli type
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, dude, that's how. Okay, speaking of like embracing the gayness, like Milli Vanilli, those two guys, Rob and Fab, one of them killed themselves because of this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but now it would be like all of that would be championed as like just brilliant marketing. Instead, like you don't think so?
No, they wouldn't parade these people out as musical genius. I mean, didn't they win or were nominated for Grammys?
No, they won Grammys.
Yes.
Fucking no. I think Murr, you're right to a sense where like had they come out now, they probably would have just been outward about not being who they are. You get what I'm saying? I think had they come out and done exactly what Milli Vanilli did and been like, yeah, it's us. It's definitely not these two fucking Luther Vandross looking motherfuckers. It's definitely us German guys. You know what I mean? Like if they did that and we found out, we would still crucify them today because it'd be like, you're lying. But if they came out like a lot of TikTok people and shit, and they're like, hey, you know, I'm an island boy. I'm terrible at what I do and I just want notoriety. Then people would have latched onto them and been like, okay, they're okay. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I just think about how much media has like twisted our thoughts. I remember when I was a kid and like Whitney Houston was just like took off through the roof, and they did like a documentary about it. It was like with Oprah, and I remember the whole thing. It was like all it was is like how Christian Whitney Houston was, and like I learned to sing in the choir, da 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 da. And then knowing what I know now, today when I heard like oh, I want to dance with somebody. I want to feel the heat with somebody. No, you were a coke sniffing whore back then. It's just they were protecting you to sell more music. It's just I didn't find out until I was in my 30s that you were in fact a coke sniffing whore. Like that's all you were.
Especially back then because there was record labels. So record labels were just protecting shit. Yeah.
And so like my mind went into this conspiratorial rabbit hole about Oprah being in on all this shit. Like, you knew Whitney Houston wasn't pure as the driven snow. You knew this. You puff-pieced her up.
She was only as pure as the snow she was sniffing.
Just only as pure as that Colombian snow.
Because how she then go on to marry Bobby Brown for her entire past was still true.
Well, hey, man, he is coming off the heels of some really good stuff with the Ghostbusters soundtrack. Let's not forget. I mean, shit was riding high.
Too hot to handle, too cold to hold. You called it Ghostbusters in control.
He was no longer the cute kid in New Edition.
God. That's right.
No, I just wonder how much of our childhood was a lie. And because now the internet era, you can't hide. Like, it's not like that anymore. You can't do that. You can't have puff pieces like that. How many of our celebrities from yesteryear were just horrible, terrible, just drug-riddled individuals that we vitalized all this time?
I think a lot of
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're made like I feel like Fred Savage made it through the cracks.
The thing is you can name Fred Savage because there's so few to fucking point your finger at.
Perhaps.
Because that's a deep cut celebrity.
Yeah, it is. like a Fred Savage.
His brother Wayne in the Wonder Years, he seemed to do all right.
Terrible.
Wait, this all started from like the whispering, right?
Yes.
Yeah, somehow. I
Right.
don't know how we got here.
This is what I was going to say. Did you know that if you've lost your voice, it's worse to whisper than it is to actually like try to talk for your vocal cords? I didn't. It took me a month to figure that out once when I lost my voice.
Or was it you were just talking quiet and you weren't actually whispering? Because to me, it seems like the vibration is the thing that's the culprit.
Well, I wasn't measuring vibrations, and I certainly wasn't choking myself. Well, at least when I was talking to people. But no, from what I read, it's hydration and constant. Eating well, not eating like basically it's like breads. You don't want to cut breads out. Anything that could like scar it up of thing that's already scarred there. But they say don't whisper. Don't try to relax yourself and whisper because you think you're doing yourself well. It's not helping. You gotta try to talk.
Honey, baby, honey.
Are you calling me honey, baby? That's cute. I love it.
Honey. You put yourself a giant tablespoon of honey in your mouth and you let it sit until it liquefies, and then you gargle it.
I feel like I saw
and then swallow it.
George Harrison did that on but he lost his voice during some promo tour in the 70s and was like gargling that shit.
Speaking of which, how bad are cigarettes? Because everybody from that era smoked, and they sounded like golden gods when they put their mouth to a fucking Shure microphone that you could beat a nail into a board with.
Well, yeah. I mean, hey, look, they're talented people. All right, let's just leave it at that.
And there's Vanilla Ice, though. Did you know? So far, man has survived on Earth for 2 million years. The dinosaurs lasted 150 million years.
Damn, we beat him. We beat him by 50 million years.
No, you listened to nothing. You broke your promise for Fun Fact Friday.
You said man's been here for 200 million.
No, 2.
2 million. Okay, sorry. Okay, that's why it seemed odd to me. 2 million.
Okay.
Dinosaurs were here for 150. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got some things to do. If
like die.
like or listen, I have a hunch we're not going to beat them.
I have a hunch you're correct. Absolutely.
I have a hunch we might not beat our own life expectancies, gentlemen.
That's fair too. No, it's the hubris of man. Like, we've only been here 202. Now you got me saying it. 2 million years, and we think we're the cat shebang. We think the world revolves around us. Think about that. Like, it makes me wonder: were there sentient dinosaurs? We don't know.
Yes, there was a sitcom about them in the 90s.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't know what planet you've been living on.
Yeah. It was based on a true story. Took a few things.
Hey, by the way, do you know how that series ended?
It was a meteor, right?
They did it.
Yeah.
And what happened was they canceled the show, but they didn't cancel it before they told the writers. And the writers were so pissed that they were like, fuck this. This family that everybody's grown to love, we're going to fucking kill them.
Yep.
Hey, didn't that premiere after a Super Bowl? Maybe I'm
I
wrong
wanna
on
say like
this, but I think like like after a World Series or something.
I want to say you're right. I want to say after a Super Bowl, and I don't even know if it was a series yet. I almost feel like it was like a short, and everybody was enamored by it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they were like, fuck it. Yeah. Everybody latched onto it. Let's do it.
I'm the baby. Gotta love me. Yap, yap, yap. Okay. Let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah, but they ended it by killing everyone, and it was all done out of spite because the writers learned they were being canceled before the season started. So they decided to kill them in the most dramatic fashion possible. So a lighthearted sitcom about some animatronic dinosaurs.
All right, so we got 148 million years to outbeat the dinosaurs. I tell you what, man, if I'm a gambling man, but man likes to succeed. We may do it. I doubt it, but we may
Not
do
here.
it.
I doubt we'll do it here.
No.
We'll do it somewhere else. We'll do it on Mars, maybe. God, man. And this is where, like, we need to stop fucking with Elon. You know he gave that $6 billion away.
Yeah, I heard about that.
To who? Or whom?
He left it anonymous.
Really?
Yeah.
Why don't we just we'll anchor Mars to the Earth, okay, with some sort of tow line, and then make Earth some sort of giant reflective thing. We'll just put a bunch of aluminum foil around it, and it'll shoot a lot of sunlight towards Mars.
For what?
Yes, this is my demo. Get back to me next week. I'll come up with a better idea.
Okay, hold on. So far, you've gotten to put a chain on Earth and Mars, like you're towing Mars out of a muddy ditch, and then you're wrapping the Earth in its entirety in aluminum foil.
Well, this is after we've absolved all resources and Earth is no longer inhabitable. We've migrated to Mars.
If we found enough material to wrap the Earth in aluminum foil, I'd say that's where we depleted our resources.
Sure, yeah. I mean, this is a last-ditch effort type thing.
For what, though? What's the purpose of the aluminum foil?
With the tow line, that way, if you're not getting, well, I'm just thinking of some sort of reflective thing to make Mars hotter.
Wouldn't that reflect the light away?
Yeah, I mean, you channel it, you funnel it, and shoot it with lasers.
Yeah, you really thought this through.
No, not particularly, but whatever. Fuck it. I won't be here to figure this out. I'll just leave it in a journal and someone else can perhaps use this.
Hold on. Sorry, I gotta pull this thread a little further. Why would we link a dying planet to the savior planet?
Well, my point was, if you're that far away, you need something because Mars doesn't get enough sunlight. It's right.
But why would you anchor them together?
Well, to screw up the gravitational pull, sabotage everything.
That, my friends, is Fun Fact Friday. I hope you learned something.
Oh, God.
I sure did. I'll tell you that.
I was reading about the dinosaurs and listening, and I didn't want to ruin it. It was going so well.
Oh, wait, the show? How'd it end?
Yep. Yes.
I was hoping you would say something like, not completely stupid, but like, we would use the chain to walk to Mars. It's something functional, even though it's not.
Walk to Mars, yeah.
Even though it's absolutely absurd, like something.
The chaining it to Earth is not absurd.
Because, the amount of resources it would take to link the two planets and wrap ours in aluminum foil, it would just seem that the effort would be the thing that was our demise.
Could you imagine, like, the Reynolds Corporation becomes, like, as big as, like, Boeing or fucking Northrop Grumman, and they've got unlimited government funding to cover Earth and foil. Or wait, are we covering Earth or Mars in foil?
Yeah, it really.
I don't even know.
You should wrap Mars in foil, like to bake it like a potato, like Alan's breakfast every morning,
and then get a fixins bar.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm done.
They're off the rails.
Before you go, a priest used one word wrong during baptisms, and now apparently a Catholic church outside of the Phoenix area has deemed that this father who has been performing baptisms over 20 years, that anyone who is baptized within this window, it's null and void. Okay, so here is what the official word is, or wording is, when you are baptized. We baptize you in the name of the Father and the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Father Arango, and Andres Arango misstated one word. We baptize should have been I baptized, and getting the word wrong nullified all the rituals he performed using that language. Apparently, the church told everyone that they understand that he wasn't using bad judgment. This wasn't some sort of like it was a mistake. But unfortunately, it was 2 decades, and anyone who has been baptized between now and the early 90s, you're fucked. And whether you thought you were baptized or not, boo-hoo. Diocese go ahead.
Not just that, anybody who's been baptized and passed in that time is burning in the eternal inferno of hell. So
that's correct. Yeah, if you have died between now and then, I mean, if you're listening, we're sorry. The Diocese
that's a bad email to get.
The Diocese of Phoenix added that we did. Yeah, again, they said that they don't believe that Father Rango had bad intentions. I don't even know. There's no contingency plan. They don't talk about anchoring Earth and Mars and trying to figure out how they're going to baptize all these people who want to come back on a voluntary basis. Alan, how the hell does this work? Okay, you're sitting there. You're like, life's good. I'm a middle-aged man. I'm a middle-aged woman. I got a family. We go to church every Sunday. I feel good. I do my due diligence. I donate. All of a sudden, sir, ma'am, not baptized.
The Catholic Church is first and foremost a business, Wesley. So I think somebody's going to have to pony up to become baptized as an adult. There's a whole process for it. It's a pain in the dick.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Did you not know that? Oh, sorry.
I just thought if I walked into the church and they said, "Hey, you have to do these steps and you want to be baptized," sure.
Yeah,
no, there's a whole pageantry, man.
Like Wesley, if you are like one day like I've gotta be Catholic, it just feels great.
Right.
It feels right.
I love guilt.
I wanna sin fucking relentlessly and then just say I'm sorry and a couple of Hail Marys and then start it over again.
Right.
Fucking this is the church for you. So if you want to do that, yeah, you would go through like a series of classes with other people. Assuming that there's other humans on this planet that want to turn Catholic, you would get in a class, a lot like driver's ed. It's like driver's ed for becoming a fucking hypocrite. So you hop into these classes. They give you like a book, and you probably fill out some stuff. You learn like Jesus and some other stories, and then they adult baptize you. If you're in the South, probably in a river. If you're somewhere in a major metropolitan city, probably in a jacuzzi tub in a fucking, rental space in a strip mall. Mm-hmm. So it just depends on what kind of town you're living in. But yes, you would get formally trained in the way of Jesus, and then they would baptize.
So why is it okay? Like someone like myself who hasn't been practicing religion at all, why do I have to go through more hurdles than someone who's a minor?
Well, no, minors go through them. You just are an adult, so like they make you do it in a different way. They make you basically pay for it, which I'm pretty sure your parents pay for it anyway. when you do it as a child, I'm fairly certain there's a small fee. The church's mafia, your local church's mafia man comes up to you and he says, "All right, cough up, pony up some dough. I'll sign this fucking form that we have created that says your child's touched by God. It's going to be good." Right. And then you do that and you do a whole thing at the church. So you do go through the same process. You just don't really think about it as much because
your parents
it feels like you're getting fleeced when you're 35. Right. It doesn't feel like you're getting fleeced when you're 6 months old.
So why? Okay, if in fact, the person who, or the people who discovered this fallacy with Father Arango's wording, why can't they just have a blessing to say, all right, Father Arango obviously acted in good faith. He messed up one word. Those of you who were baptized, we baptize you, yada, yada. Not this whole thing, this whole goddamn, I don't know.
Sorry. Here's the thing. This is where I say that it's first and foremost a business, Wesley, is because, like, they could, in theory, I would think, go ahead and do that. Because, like, I think about it like this. I don't know how familiar you are with Catholic Mass. Murr, are you Catholic? Are you a Catholic Mass guy? Okay. Yeah. Well, so Sarah's Catholic, right?
I'll go wake her up. Hold on.
Go grab her.
No.
Fucking go tell her to get down here. We got to talk about Catholicism. It's going to be a hoot. So, fucking.
I'm sure she'll want to baptize me if I wake her up.
What was your initial question again? I totally lost track.
Well, I think I know.
Why couldn't someone like just say, "Hey, everyone that was baptized prior to this, you're good, you're okay"?
No, I totally think they could. In my logic, because is that, and I'll do it real quick so Merc can get to his point. Is that during every mass, at the very end, right before you take communion, there's a few lines that the priest recites and that we recite back as a congregation. Yeah. That is essentially a brief and quick absolution of sin. It's basically a quick confession. Yeah. You're confessing in your mind, and he's absolving you of those sins, essentially. And you're doing it right then and there because you technically can't take communion without having absolved your most recent set of sins. So you should absolutely be able to do that. I would think that they could gather them all in a room and they'll dip their little sprayer thing into the bucket of holy water and just be like, bam, y'all baptized again. They could do that. But again, business is business. We need dough cheese. That's a lot of people that could pay for a lot of fucking dunks in a tub. Got to keep the lights on.
I know Alan has some past, we'll just say angst towards the Catholic Church. But I think his overall destination of what he said is accurate. I think this is a chance to double dip on the tithing of the individuals, maybe drag them back into church, maybe get them to go more frequently, and it's a way of sucking them back in because they could obviously just. But and by the way, in the Lord's Prayer, I mean, I'm not a practicing religious guy, but on earth as it is in heaven, once you've christened the priest with the ability to do these things, whether he fucks up or not, it's not your fault. It's supposed to be recognized because you've given that priest the power. So if the priest made a mistake, it's not on the parishioner, it's on the priest. So it should just not even be a thing. And so, I think it's a money grab.
I think if this particular church wants to really get down to the nitty gritty, in my opinion, if you want to solve this, you rent out a water park for the day and just have people just get into wave pools and slides and stuff like that. And be like, you know what? All the water's blessed. Have a good day.
They could absolutely do that.
Like, good Lord, I'm going back to church if that's the case.
Like Murr and I had the discussion prior to this segment where he was like, I think he said something along the lines of like, I'm not so big on the whole church thing, but I'm cool with I like religion. I'm cool with religion. And I think this is a perfect example of the whole church thing being kind of shitty. But religion's all right, man, if that's your bag. If you're into fucking sky individuals and faith and stuff, go for it. But don't go to buildings and give fucking people money. That shit's stupid. That's just dumb.
It's a longer conversation, but for the most part, I agree. I think people are more generous and nice when they, I don't want to say have something to fear, but when they feel like their soul is on the line for how righteous they act on earth, then I think they're nicer people.
True.
But once a governmental institution gets involved, things start to get a little more complicated than that. And I think the Catholic Church is a governmental institution, and their coffers are getting a little dry.
Yeah.
So why not
I seem to think of this. I'll equate this to some sort of like county board of education. Be like, hey, listen, everyone that's graduated in the last 20 years, we realize we fucked up some sort of testing, so you're gonna have to come back and do the 11th grade over at least for a week. What? Kiss my fucking ass.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. 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 That I feel like, yeah, that's like very similar. Like, oh man, if you were issued a diploma between 1982 and 2002, we wrote the wrong verbiage on your diploma. So
Yeah.
you're going to have to Billy Madison your ass back to fucking Perryville High School and do it over again.
See, that you would have to assume that, you know, the organized Catholic Church is an organization that preaches forgiveness and grace and humility, but they're not really like that. So
Right. Well, then you might get some people like Bill from King of the Hill who would go back like, oh yeah, I get to play sports for another week. Let's fucking do it. People like religious go hard. It's like, hell yeah, rebirth me, redo it. I just say rebirth me because that, I don't know, in my atheist mind that makes sense.
rebirth me. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That kind of makes some sense.
Yeah, let's not bring up the Catholic Church in Alan's presence ever again. Can we do that?
Oh, dude, I love it, and I'm mad knowledgeable too. You can't I love Catholic Church.
I just think I mean this really kind of threw me for a loop about this father who acted in good faith did no dings in his entire fatherism, his entire span. Over 2 decades, all I did was like we versus I. And I was like, listen, folks, he's since retired voluntarily, and that's that. And all of you, it's null and void. We got to come back and do this. Ugh.
Yeah,
seems fishy.
All hyperbole aside, this is a perfect example of why I am not a big fan of the organized Catholic Church, having been in it since I was like 5. So actually younger when I got baptized, but formally. Do
you remember if it was me versus I?
Religion's cool, man, if that's your bag. But this is a perfect example of the church being like, hold up. Y'all ain't getting in to the club that we talked about because somebody else fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll get these people to come back, though, because I would imagine they ended the email with, like, listen, this isn't the worst thing we've ever done.
Well, the worst part about it is you'll get people to come back because, this is diving into a philosophical debate, but you've got people who are legitimately going to hear this news and be fucking, like, shattered.
Oh, yeah, devastated.
There are people that care enough that they're going to be like, I got to do this all over again. And they're going to do it, and they're going to pay money, and they're going to pay time and go sit in boring places and listen to a pedophile talk, and it's just going to be fucking delightful.
What if they do some sort of like arbitration thing where they can be like they figure out what window you were baptized in, and you could get it at you could get round 2 of baptism at a reduced rate.
Dude,
an expedited type thing.
How about free for fucking up?
This goes to my point is like I could absolutely do it because what I mentioned was a little thing. So like in large congregations, and I've been in large congregations, like okay, so example, like Pope came to Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
Fucking very, very Catholic city, Baltimore. So the fucking streets were lined with fucking people. And their priests at different points, like legitimately had buckets, gilded, of course, buckets of holy water. And then they would dip these gilded wands into them. And all the wands are just little fucking balls at the end of them, but they're hollow. So they hold water, but the water all rushes out. And then they spray. And that's how they baptize people, large crowds at a time, because it's the same fucking ritual. So yes, they can absolutely do this, but the money grab is there for the taking. There are plenty of ways for them to do it.
If that's the case, I got baptized at a backdoor shower show down the block of Baltimore on a Saturday night once.
Yeah. It gets weird.
Oh, we can get weird
They're
here.
dual purpose.
We can get weird here.
They're dual purpose.
Yeah. Well, good luck to the folks of the greater fucking Phoenix area. I hope if you want to get baptized again.
If you want to do it again, or just say fuck it.
Yeah, that's you said there's going to be people who are genuinely nervous. I also have to think that there's a handful of people who are like, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, no, there's going to be a handful of people who are like, well, whatever. That was kind of getting lukewarm on it anyway. You know what I mean? But there are going to be some people that are like, fuck, my life is over. And that's terrible. Like, they're going to have these people by the balls, and they're not going to be like, oh, don't worry, you're good. We the Pope could just be like, y'all are straight because word of God and all. But nope, won't do that. Let's just, $150 a head. Let's take this fucking 8-hour class about Jesus and stuff. It'll be good. It'll be good stuff.
It'll be like a revamp session,
We'll get Panera sandwiches. Right. We'll get Panera sandwiches. It'll be delightful.
Yeah. Get you out on a weekday, a Wednesday between 6 and 8.
You're gonna spend a Saturday from 8 to 4 in a church basement. You idiot.
Sounds yummy.
You fucking moron.
And when you're done, we'll give you a token and we'll tell you, we'll see you tomorrow morning.
And then we'll give you an envelope and say, put $20 in it for the parish.
Oh shit! All right, Christ, we've had enough talk. All right, Alan, where can the kids and the kiddos find us?
Straight at the gates of hell, baby. You can find us, of course, on all your favorite social media platforms, Wesley. That's the Facebook. We're at the Middle Classholes on that platform. We're at MDL Classholes on Instagram and Twitter. And, of course, for your TikTok and pleasure, we're just Middle Classholes on that platform. And, of course, for your ear holes, please check us out on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. And as always, send us emails because it's our favorite mode of communication at tickleourtummies@gmail.com. That's right, tickleourtummies@gmail.com. I see Murr shaking his head in a negative fashion. I don't know what that means.
That means there's no email.
Damn it!
Son of a bitch. Well, hey, congratulations to Teresa. You get $50 and some free swag from Oliver Brewing. Yeah. Shit. I was going to say something else. No, not going to say anything else. Yeah, fuck it. Hey, listen, if you get caught manufacturing, purchasing, or distributing a fake COVID vaccination card, I hope a glitter bomb gets smashed in your dick hole or your asshole or your clitoris, or you were in the greater Phoenix area and you have to get baptized again.
If you're a priest in the greater Phoenix area that used the word we instead of I, you're a piece of garbage person. And I hope that you never get forgiven by that God you served for years, because he is not a merciful God.
Woo. All right.
Way to go. Explore your gayness, everybody.